In all angles, abortion debate.
I want to be the voice for women to have the right to choose.
Parliamentary hearings, positions for.
No government administration, either PNP or JLP, has so far had the courage to support women on this issue, legalizing facilities to safe abortions.
And against.
Based on the nature of the fetus from conception, legal prohibition of abortion is justified.
What about Christians? Can they be for or always against? And later on, heat and our schools.
I usually stay in my classroom and play because outside it's so hot.
A special report by Kelisha Williams. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Miller, and as always, a very special welcome to our viewers on onespotmedia.com. Our guest in this segment of the program, we have with us Horace Levy. He's a member of the group of Christians supporting abortion up to 12 weeks. Another member of that group, former Minister of Religion, Ms. Patricia Phillips. We always also have with us the Reverend Dr. Alvin Bailey. He's presiding Bishop of Portmore Holiness Christian Church, and Ms. Casey Garvey with us as well, a member of the Love March movement. Just before we go to our guests, though, we went onto the streets to ask members of the public if they thought there were circumstances under which Christians would support abortion.
No.
Why?
It's God's gift to mankind. It's nature. If we're not ready, then don't have it.
Towards rape, you can think about that. Because remember, if you get raped, when a person rape you, you're not going to know the father.
God there, you talk to God and God will there help you feel your needs and your needs. Because Him say, ask and it shall be given. And seek and you will get anything. So when you go bother and say you go, you're a child of God, and then you go get a belly and you go dash it away. You are the pastor in the church, say, him there to help you. If any problem, him supposed to help you. Because everybody make mistake in life, but I believe say, if he's a true Christian, I say you serve God the right way. You're not supposed to talk about no abortion. That's not supposed to in your talk, none at all.
Right now in America, they are even coming up with surrogated mothers where they offer $80,000 US, where people can give birth to someone who cannot give birth. So life is good. So I don't believe in abortion, and I don't think Christian, pastor, no one at all should think about abortion.
If you have a woman at home and you found out that she's pregnant, and when you look, you hear she's saying she don't know what happened, the baby gone, and when you found out she abort it, how would you feel? In yourself, how would you feel? So come on, if we as human beings would feel so bad, you imagine how God would feel about it?
No.
Why?
Because, my mother leave me from me at 9 months old. She leave me with me. Her sister and auntie and uncle grow me. And if me did dead, me wouldn't have 13 grandchildren and a grandson who wish to be a pastor. Look at me.
Okay, remember you can participate in the program. You can tweet me, it's DJ Miller JA. Our hashtag is TVJ All Angles. You can text as well. Our text line 853-2795. That's 853-2795. Ms. Phillips, let me start with you, because when one thinks of the various sides, if you want to call it that, in the abortion debate, the assumption is always that Christians and the church are on the side against abortion. Tell me why you and your colleagues thought it important to put out this statement.
Precisely because of that reason, that so many do not recognize that there are Christians who understand the love of Jesus Christ as also being available to the woman, to the mother to be, who is not in a position to be able to bring a child into the world, maybe because of her circumstances, maybe because of how she was impregnated, but that we are able to say that the love we're expected to show to one another, the compassion that God has for us, the creation of woman in the image of God, the choice given to humanity to be able to live out our life and to deal with the realities of that life means that we can support a woman who needs to make the choice to have an abortion, and that we see that as actually being a part of the compassion of God, because it's a health issue, it's a life issue, it's an issue of recognizing that people have circumstances that are beyond their ability to control and to manage the situation.
But it sounds counterintuitive to the fundamental premise that we usually hear from Christians, which is that life is sacred and nothing gainsays that.
Absolutely, which is why we say it is one life against another life. So it is a life that is not yet, a life that is still in what we call zygote or cellular form, which is why we have a timeline in terms of the 13 weeks over against a life that may be 13 years old, 14, 15, 60 years. Well, not so old now, science, but science may allow it. But 30 odd years old, 16, 17, 18 years old. So it's one life against another life. It's life. It's all about life.
I say Reverend Bailey already itching to get into the fray, but just before that, Reverend, let me ask Mr. Levy why you wanted to sign on. And for listeners or viewers who haven't yet seen it, it is a statement by Christians supporting abortion up to 12 weeks. And we'll get to the 12-week issue in just a moment. Mr. Levy, why did you sign on?
Well, there are two main questions to answer. The first question is who should choose and why. And the second question is, are we killing a human being by having an abortion? And Pat has been talking about the first question, the who, because the who is the women should choose. I mean, we give the men freedom to impregnate women freely, and we want to prevent women from having the freedom to say yes or no. Right, so let's change that, and change it because women are suffering, poor women. That's the question of who, and there's considerable maternal mortality because women are forced to take backroom abortions. But the other question is, are we killing a human being by having an abortion? And that's therefore the business of the 12 weeks that you mentioned, right?
All right, hold that thought. I'm going to come back to the 12-week issue. Let me just bring in the others. Yes, Reverend, how do you argue against that? The compassion of God, the compassion of Jesus Christ being the overriding consideration?
Well, the compassion must be shown under all circumstances for anybody who has suffered any kind of trauma or situation that are unwelcomed. But as it relates to the compassion that dictates or informs you to take or to kill a baby, the sanctity of the human life doesn't permit that. The Bible doesn't permit that. There's nowhere in the scripture or in theology can we find us advocating the love of God by taking the life, by killing a baby. And at 12 weeks, a baby is fully formed.
You're deliberately using phraseology there, kill a baby.
Yes.
Which is part of the gray area, the area of controversy, isn't it?
Yes, because at 12 weeks, that's a fully formed child with head, eyes, nose, mouth, right in place, no doubt about it. You need just look at any of the, go and Google it, and a 12 weeks old child, and you'll see that that's a fully formed child in that mother's womb.